Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I'm supposed to do this video ages ago, but I just didn't have the mental energy. I have posted a lot about men being terrible to women, and a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I had another incident where, again, this was nothing compared to what some women go through, but I just want to highlight how frequently this happens to women and how normalized it's become. This happened, if any woman you know will tell you that being stopped on the street, shouted at, catcalled, whatever, happens on an almost daily basis, sometimes multiple times in a day. Slightly less so now, but that's only because we've all been forced to be locked in our house. So that's what it takes sometimes to stop men harassing women in the street, is to lock them in their houses. So yeah, I mean, this by far was not the worst catcall that's ever happened to me. And some people would say that it was not bad because what he was saying was supposedly a compliment. But I was walking down a high street, Bethnal Green High Street. I don't know if it's called Bethnal Green High Street, the main road in Bethnal Green. And this guy I was not in the best of moods. And what's been happening recently, a woman has been murdered, again, by a man, not only a man, a police officer. So tensions are incredibly high. And anyone with half a brain cell would know that even if you were a piece of shit enough to shout at women about their appearance before, maybe just give them a little bit of a break now. Because every time you shout something at us in the street, it reminds us that you believe that these are your streets and we are on your turf, and therefore you get to shout stuff at us. So maybe just give it a rest for at least the next couple of weeks. But no, this guy stopped me and was like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And yes, that is not the worst thing that's ever happened to me on the street by far, but I was not in the mood. So I said, "Please just leave me alone." He put his bike in front of me so that I couldn't easily walk past him, or he stopped in front of me with his bike, so I couldn't just carry on. Normally I have headphones on so I can either pretend I'm not listening, but I am fed up of pretending I'm not listening. Just stop doing it. So I said, "Listen, with the shit that's going on at the moment, please, whatever reason you think you have for stopping a woman and commenting on her appearance, just don't. Even if you think it's a nice thing, and even if you'd like it if a woman stopped you and told you about your appearance, the undercurrent, the underlying message is not the same. So please don't. I don't care whether what you have to say is complimentary or not. I'm not on the street for you and your entertainment and to hear what you think of my being on that street. I just want to walk to the train station without being bothered." Multiple men walked past when this was happening and did not say anything. And I started filming. If you're in this situation, please don't put yourself in any further danger. Be very careful, because obviously filming people sometimes makes them more angry. I was on a busy street, so, but I do want to be careful telling people, "Oh, you should always video people," because sometimes that can make things worse. I hate that I have to say that, but be careful when you're doing that. So I started filming him and I said, I'll post the video afterwards, but I was like, "I'm filming you now for my safety, because I know what's going on at the moment. I know what's always been happening with men stopping women on the street. So for my safety, I'm going to video you. Please just carry on walking." And then he was like, "No, I'll do what I want. This is not your street." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll wait. You carry on walking and then we'll go." And then he wouldn't walk. So I was like, "What do you want me to do then?" I want this interaction to be over. Again, this is absolutely nothing compared to what women go through all the time with men on the street. This is just a tiny, 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 minute example of when it, anyway. And then he helpfully told me that if I wanted him to leave leave me alone. All I had to do was just tell him that I had a boyfriend or a husband, and it would be fine. Oh, no, sorry. I would have had to say, thank you very much for your compliment. Unfortunately, I have a boyfriend / husband, and I'm already belonging to a male. So, and then he said if I had just done that, he would be on his way. And that's what I should have done. Obviously, that did not do anything to stop me getting more angry. And so I told him I have neither a husband or a boyfriend. I just shockingly don't want to speak to him. Anyway, it carried on, and I got more pissed off. And you can see in the video, like, as soon as the thing is, if men watch this video, I'm sure a lot of them will think, oh, she's overreacting, blah, blah, blah. And maybe some other folks too. But the amount of time this happens to me, like, and I'm a white woman. I'm incredibly privileged. So I can't even imagine what some other people must go through. This was nothing compared to I know what happens all the time, but it is just a little thing that shows you. This man basically told me he has to comment on what I look like, and if I want him to stop, I just need to let him know which male owns me, and then he'll be on his way. And as soon as I wasn't interested in talking to him at all, he was like, oh, fuck you, and like was like swearing at me. Which, again, it might seem like I'm overreacting, but that is very much the tone of a lot of men. When you make it clear that you're not interested in having sex with them, then it's like, you're nothing. Then it's like, oh, well, fuck you, which is disgusting, because that just shows that all along, their thought process was either she's like someone to have sex with or she's nothing. There's no part of that where it's like, oh, she's just another human being that has just as much right to be on the street as I do. No, it's like she's a potential fuck, or she can get to shit. And even this happened, there's like microaggressions even that happen, like even on fucking dating apps. Like, how many people have been on dating apps where the men are like, even in their fucking bios or like the questions or whatever, they're like, if you're gonna like a picture, make sure you say something, or like leave it, because I'm not interested in a pen pal. Like, that's so aggressive before I've even said that I'm attracted to you aesthetically. But you're saying like, and one guy, like, if I didn't respond for a couple of days because, like, give a fuck, and he did the rolling eye emoji, and I was like, I don't know you, and I didn't reply quick enough to you, and that's enough to be like, oh God, fuck off. As soon as we're not potential sex objects to you, then we're what? We're less than human. Fuck off. And then on this same day, when I had this guy stop me on the street, I then, like, I don't like being upset about it, because they like when you get angry. But sometimes you don't have the energy to, like, control everything to make sure that it goes well. And I got on the tube afterwards, and I was like a bit of a mess, because I was like, it ended up with a couple, a woman and a man came up to me and were like, are you okay? And then to him, leave her alone. And that it took like somebody else intervening on a busy street. It took like a good 5 minutes before anybody intervened, which fucks me off as well. No men intervened. In fact, I think you'll be able to hear in the video that this guy, we're outside a kebab shop, and this guy's like waving and saying hello to his friends in the kebab shop, and they're like, so that's when people, that's like when people say not all men, yeah, maybe not all men would have like stopped a woman or catcalled a woman or like done much worse to a woman. But then if the other men are sitting watching and doing fuck all, then it may as well be all of you lot. But yeah, and then I got on the tube and I was like in tears, because I don't like feeling out of control. And a lot of the time, as like a 5'2" woman, at the end of the day, like, luckily I can film people, so there's maybe some evidence, or like I was on a busy street, so maybe some people will help me. But if I was alone in a dark street at night and this guy, I wouldn't have filmed him. I would have been too scared to. But I wouldn't have been able to control that situation at all. If he had got more angry with me, like, I wouldn't have been able to control that situation. That's a horrible feeling, to feel like you couldn't have controlled that. Like, And every woman listening to this knows that feeling, but I'm just trying to make it a bit clearer to men. But like, yeah. And so I was on the tube and I was actually in tears. And sorry, I have such a fucking headache. I was actually in tears, and there was this guy that I sat opposite to on the tube, and the whole tube ride, he was just like staring at me. And for a moment, I thought it was the dogs that got on, because I was like leaning down to like say hello to dogs, because of course dogs. And then they left, and I was like, oh no, he's staring at me. And like, I'm not being funny. This is what he was like. Like, imagine. And again, it doesn't sound that bad, but women will understand. So like the whole tube journey, he was like sitting like legs open, like literally like this to me. Like for like 20 minutes. And I was in tears. Like, seriously, really? Like, can we... Anyway, so I got a video of him as well, but in the video, it doesn't look like he's looking, it looks like he's looking just above me, but I was holding the phone really low so that he couldn't see I was videoing him. So it is just him, because I was like, I wonder if he's going to do it. And as he got off the tube, he's like, vile. And then I got off the tube, and then another gentleman decided that he needed to just make me aware that he was aware of my presence, and just like stood in front of me and was like, ugh. And obviously immediately I wanted to have sex with him. No, I didn't. It's not about, I mean, they may think it's about like, oh, she's hot, so I was talking to her. But deep down, it's like, I need to let her know that I'm aware of her presence, and you're not just gonna like, again, I don't think it's a conscious thought, but that doesn't make anything any better. But it's just like, hey, you woman, you're here and I notice you. I could do a whole like long thing breaking this down, but I think me talking about it with ADHD is never going to end in a clear, concise thought process. So maybe I'll write a blog about it or something. But again, I know that like someone just shouting that, like, well, he blocked my path, and it was just, his whole manner was just gross. But again, it's nothing compared to what some people have done to me in the street, and I know that even that will be nothing compared to what other women have been through. But just like, I'm exhausted. Like I haven't even rewatched that video until now, because I was just like, you know, when you're like, oh, it's gonna make me angry, I can't be bothered. Anyway, like, if you know this guy, come get your friend and tell him to, I don't even, it's disgusting. Like, some people, I'm like, they're so far gone. And in that case, fine. I made this point the other day. I was like, you can't police people's thoughts. Unfortunately, you can't police people's thoughts. So, you know, people like that will probably never understand how what their actions do affect other people, and why their actions are so deep rooted in misogyny. But I would love for them to be able to change their minds, but I don't have high hope for that. But what you can police is people's actions. So you can think whatever you want as I walk past, but if you do anything disgusting, if you stop me, if you interrupt my day in any way whatsoever, that should be policed, and that you can't do. So I'm not saying we're trying to police people's thoughts. Unfortunately, we can't, but we can police people's actions, and there can be consequences for men behaving like this. And if you know men that behave like this, it is your job to be like, dude, stop. Like, what are you doing? Because a lot of it, sometimes I don't even think it's about me at all. Sometimes it is, but not me personally, but like women. But sometimes it's like a bro thing. Like, a lot of the time when you walk past like a building site or whatever, sometimes or like men in vans that beep and shout things at you, they're never on their own. It's always with their buddy, and they're always like trying to impress their friend. And it's like, if you are that friend, be like, that's embarrassing. I don't know. Do something, for fuck's sake. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's just because there's a lot of stuff going on, a woman's just been murdered, so stopping women in the street to say anything, good or bad.
You say sorry, thank you. I'm married.
Oh, if I have a boyfriend or I'm married, then I don't have a boyfriend or I'm not married either. I just don't want to hear what you think about my appearance.
I didn't say nothing wrong.
You made a comment about a random person's appearance. I don't need to know good or bad. I just want to get about my day and not be spoken to by random men. Because when you get stopped a lot by random people to comment on your appearance, good or bad, you don't need to tell people how you think they look.
Yeah, but did I stop you? I didn't. I just speak by my own mouth.
Yeah, I'm asking you nicely. People don't appreciate it.
Like you. You don't appreciate it.
No, I don't like walking around and people having anything to say about what I look like, whether it's good or bad.
Change your life. Your eyes white. That's it. It's easy. Come on.
I think there's a few missing brain cells here.
Maybe me, I didn't do nothing wrong.
Now you're walking with me.
It's not your way.
Okay, cool. So you carry on, and I'll just wait for you to go.
Keep watching me.
What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Teresa.
Cool.
My name is Teresa.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You gonna carry on walking next to me?
You think that you were scared me with you?
Are you gonna carry on walking next to me?
It's not your way.
It's not my way.
Stress.
No. Okay.
Ah,
So
not
carry
your
on.
stress.
Off you go.
Not your stress.
Off you
So why
go.
you recording me?
Do you want me to walk with you, or do you want to leave?
Me try have a fun. If you wanna go, go. Me try have a fun. Now I recording you too. Yeah, it's easy. It's
Okay.
easy.
So for my safety, I'm recording you. That's why.
You can go.
If I go, you're gonna
Why
walk
you
with
want
me.
to go?
Are you gonna walk with me?
Why am gonna walk with you? Who
Look,
you are?
I'll let you
Who you
go
are?
so I can
Who you
stay on
are?
my
Who
own.
you are to walk with you?
Look, if I'm gonna walk off, are you gonna follow
No,
me?
if you, why you follow you? Who you are?
I'll let you go. Like, you go on your way.
To follow you. Go.
Okay, look, I'll show you what happens. Look.
Here, let go.
Yes, thank you.
Here, let go.
There you go.
Careful.
Then, thank you.
Careful.
Thank you very much.
All right.